Hey, what's up, guys? This is Eric here for Faster Human. So I just wanted to go ahead and jump in. It's been a while. Sorry for the background noise. I wanted to jump in and be able to sort of kind of connect with you. It's been a while since I haven't done a podcast, and one of the things I wanted to do is kind of sort of just go from here and kind of just move on for a lot of things that I've been learning for the past few months. So I want to wait a little bit longer. I know there's background noise, and so for anyone who's jumping into this live broadcast, I wanted to just kind of sort of like get a head start for this middle of the month of July. I'm in the month of July, and the last podcast I did, I think it was the beginning of June or somewhere around June. It's been a while since I said I'd be able to kind of sort of jump in and be able to kind of get a little bit more into it. What's up, Healthy Chess? What's going on, brother, from New Jersey? So jumping into the live broadcast. What's going on, brother? Just want to say hi. This is a live broadcast for the podcast, Faster Human podcast. So I want to say to everybody, thank you so much for the support. I hope you guys are meditating, fasting, and I wanted to kind of sort of like have a little bit combination, because the mindset is a one of the much more trickiest way to be able to kind of sort of fall back into different things that sometimes we get to sometimes go back again to old habits. And so and one of the things that I've been doing a lot of research is that those old habits are very strong connection of be able to kind of sort of fall back. Once again, I'm going to say this: you're going to fall back again, and it's okay to fall back again to those old habits, but then you got to be mindful that it's a process in which your body is adapting to a new lifestyle. And so for many people and for anybody who is working crazy hours, so stress levels of stress are crazy, it is a normal thing that you have to work for living. You have to work, obviously, but be happy with that work process. Be happy for the fact that you're grateful and thankful to have a job, right? And so many things that when somebody is so much out of control and not being mindful that what you put into your body has a huge thing from the people around you. Can be a detrimental thing, but not because they're bad people. It's just that the bottom line I came down to is like, there's no bad people. It's just that we are in our environment. In our environment all around us, like you can find really good people because of your vibrations, because of your energy, because of the fact that you have so much to give, and sometimes you can give and then you become sucked in your energy out of you just because you're giving all this energy, right? And so you want to know who you're giving that energy to. You want to know who you're giving your dividing attention to. And so when you meditate, you have control of that. When you fasting, you have control of that, because you're not letting anything to enter your body in that sense, right? So why is meditation so important? And you can see the past videos that I have done here live. I have done meditation, and so what you want you to be self-aware, and meditation and fasting is going to bring all that together, because when you're meditating, you're cleaning out the closet, you're cleaning out your brain, you're cleaning out your mindset. And this energy is necessary. Every single day, you need that energy. So fasting provides that part of that energy. Fasting is letting go what you've been putting on in a constant basis in your body. Okay, all right. Let's invite Healthy Chess and request who wants to be part of this. Awesome, brother. Let me bring you. Hopefully we can be able to have a nice little chat. That'd be awesome. So we're gonna wait a little bit, just jumping in. Sorry for the background noise, a little background noise in regards of this live, but it's a good vibrations coming from the background noise. in a good way. So let's see if he has good connection. I just invited him to join us. Oh, okay, there you go. There it is. So I sent a request. He sent a request. He want to join us. I don't know if it. Um, so we getting more followers, more people coming in. So and so yes, these vibrations, this energy, is so necessary for us because it brings the best of us. And believe me, trust me when I tell you this, it's one of those things that is necessary um, for anybody, right? And and it's deeper. When somebody says to you, "It's impossible," it is impossible. It's impossible that what you're telling me it is hard because you're in your mindset. You kind of sort of you're not opening the gate. You're not opening your mindset, and so we have to understand that kind of people sometimes that they're not ready to open up themselves to let something new coming into their body, something that new energy coming into them. To let go, sometimes for most people, it's really hard. And so, when I speak to a lot of my clients, okay, let me see. Let's do it again. Let me try. I'm gonna try to send you again. Probably this could be the Wi-Fi, could be be the things. What's up?
Ah, what's up?
Welcome to the welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, thank you. I had to adjust my settings. So similar to you in your backyard. See, I'm in my backyard, and I got the little waterfall in the background to be at peace.
Yes, yes. So how you doing, my friend? How's everything over there in New Jersey?
Well, actually, I'm in Massachusetts. I used to be in Jersey,
Okay,
but
okay.
after 9/11, I got displaced, so I had to relocate my whole family to Massachusetts.
Gotcha, gotcha. So how is activity fasting? Are you meditating? How's your energy feel right now?
I feel great. I want to comment on something you said earlier about habits and how powerful habits are. So, in the past, I've seen some live videos and I jumped on, and within a minute or two, I'm going back to whatever. And the fact that you mentioned how powerful habits are, that was a prior habit. So now I want to develop a new habit, which is if I'm getting on, I have nothing stopping me, preventing me from staying on this. So I'm going to stay on this. So it doesn't. It seems trivial and inconsequential, but it's important because it's so easy to jump in and out of things, and that's why I'm so glad that you're doing this because I want to continue with this fast. I only have a few more hours left of this fast, but I want to build on it because when I go look at my profile, I look at my progress. I saw the uptick of the weight, and then I did the overlay since I upgraded my membership with the Life Fasting app. I did the overlay, and guess what? The weight's coming down because it coincides with the fasting, so might as well keep fasting. If that makes any sense.
It does make sense because what happens is we kind of sort of like, and don't get me wrong, because what I'm thinking about the fasting act, right? There's tools, so many things to learn, and I was one credit to whether the thing sometimes we get better off when, and so you got it. You have to to do something in regards of do something about it, not right, and and you become a practitioner that sometimes is brand new for so many people, and
Sure.
you got to give yourself credit for that, because think about it, like if it wasn't the fact that you do something like that, or you enjoy something like that with somebody else, it would have been none, so like you're sharing this with us, and people are gonna check it out and say, hey, he's doing it, and let me see what
Right.
happens, right? So it's that the part of the sharing that makes a huge difference, and and,
Right.
and when you and we connect, right, and we kind of sort of find this path of connection. It helps that
Sure.
it helps that person who doesn't know about it, you know.
That's correct. I agree. I agree. So, I mean, these little connections, again, as they seem small, but they're huge. They're really huge because when you start this and you continue along, you just get better. You get better. You only get good. I mean, good starts from being horrible. There's stages of good or excellent. So if you want to get good at anything, first you're going to suck, then you're going to be okay, and then you're going to be like, whoa, I'm into the flow, and next thing you know, you're good. But it started with sucking. You got to start somewhere. You got to start. That's number one,
Yes,
and
true.
keep at it.
It's true, man. I remember the first episode of my podcast, right? And in my mind, I'm thinking, who in the world is going to listen to me? and and
Right.
and I asked my friend, one of my friends, I said, hey, can you listen to my podcast and see what do you think of it? And he said, everything is good, but you know what? You need to take off that noise from the fire, your fire alarm thing is beeping in the background. And I said, oh, okay. Well, I mean, that was one of those things that, when you look back and say, oh, okay, that's one of the things. I mean, I don't look for perfection. I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Sure.
Because one of the things is that come to learn from this whole process is it takes time, and as you build, right? You can take a break from
Hmm.
from doing fasting, and then it's okay because then you can come back to the on. It's taking a little break from doing intermittent fasting or fasting for so long. You can take a break of it, and I do that when I go to like and I get together with my wife and going for vacation, and I know I'm going to splurge a little bit, and I know that I'm in control, and so and the habits can be strong. And one of the things I tell people is a process. Just don't give up to that process because
Sure.
we get caught up with things. I mean, as we come back to the normal, jobs are stressful, and so I'm gonna continue the that community that like sort of like, hey, remember you're only in control of yourself, and then you can come back again,
Sure.
do it all over again, and that it's okay. And so imagine when somebody says, "Yo, Eric, I did this, but it didn't work out." I say, "Well, you can do it again." I mean, don't worry about the fact that you are doing something about it versus none. That's just one of the things that I tell people. Is like, even if you work out once a week, it's better than not working out at all. But if you try, you're giving your best,
Absolutely.
So let me ask you a question. I know that you've been following me, and I've been following you back. How do you feel now versus the past? I know that you've been working on this for so long. How do you feel now that you kind of sort of accepting more of the kind of sort of new patterns, new behaviors?
Um, I feel good because what happens is we're all creatures. It's all about habits. Funny you say habits. We could talk for hours on habits. But if you're not intentionally doing something, you're going to settle with the default. So if in the default you're not happy, then guess what? You have to change something. So again, that's why we're talking now, because I went to the store earlier to get this. I don't know if you've seen it. It's like a tablet holder. I've seen like the ads seen on TV where you could fold it different ways, because I was sick of sitting on the couch and my iPad slipping this and that, and I didn't like the position on the dinner tray, so I got that earlier. So I was watching. I started watching After Earth again. It's a Will Smith movie, sci-fi movie,
Yeah.
and then I saw the live stream, so I hit pause. And I started looking. I said, okay, let me go check out what Eric has to say. But then, as soon as he said the habit, I was like, here I am outside. I quickly just went outside. I said, all right, I'm going to focus on this. And guess what? it'll push me through the next 4 hours. That's when I intend to break my fast. So guess what? That's another one in the bank for a successful fast,
Yes.
as opposed to getting there and letting the hunger pains, like, if I'm hungry, just drink some more water. Or I could go back into the fridge and take that coffee that I bought yesterday that I didn't drink. I drank half of it this morning, and I'll go heat up the other half in a nice mug, and that'll push me through my coffee with my cream, and I'm good. And guess what? For me, I don't do absolute water fast. I the word fasting means to abstain. So I'm abstaining from food. I'm abstaining from anything with sugar. So my coffee and my cream, it's never before affected my weight. If I have, as a matter of fact, it helps me get through my fast. So that's my terms. And as long as it's exercising the discipline. That's what fasting is all. That's one aspect, important aspect of fasting is the discipline, the self-control.
Yes.
So I definitely feel better, to answer your question.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I tell a lot of people to say, look, it's process. No one is perfect. I remember when the first time I started doing fasting, and I was like, I couldn't let go of the cream. I couldn't let go of the sugar, and I was telling to myself, why did I do that? Well, because I tell you, it was the first few weeks hard because I'm human, and we all human, and to let go of those that happen, it was hard. And for anybody who is brand new to it, I understand. So don't feel bad about it. Mistakes, because we all gonna make mistakes on our journey that we're trying to get better, right? And I just wanted to
Right.
come back and do another episode because I think that as meditating towards becoming new, meditating to you every morning you're brand new born, you rebirth every single day to create new energy, to bring new energy, and so that's I think it's the most important thing for us as humans to be able to bring everything else. I know that we there's a lot of stuff going on in this world right now. As I'm looking, I say, let me do what I'm doing best. Bring, give you words of wisdom and be able to tell you that you're not alone. You're just not much. And glad jumping in and here and be able to tell people, hey, I'm just coming back and want to connect and be able to bring some value to you because we all are
Right.
um, we all are in different directions, going different directions, but we all are bringing this energy. And I'm glad that you came in and be able to talk to and a little bit more with your fast.
Right. Hold on. What? We're breaking up, and I don't know if this headphone is trying to fight with you and my waterfall. So let me shut it off. One moment. I don't want you to say anything to miss anything. One moment.
Okay.
All right. Let's see how this works. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah. So this is part of technology.
Yeah, this a lot better. So this headset right here, I love it because of the length. I could do probably 20 hours, but I guess it was fighting with
Yeah.
hearing the waterfall in the background, and that's what was doing it. But I don't want to miss anything. So to your point about doing this again, I'd like to do this again. I don't believe I have anything on the calendar for next Sunday around the same time. That'd be great because what I like to do is be able to say, here's my week. This is what I accomplished. Here's how many fasts I've done, and here's how much I've grown, and here's what I'm reading because it could add value to someone else.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, I don't know what your schedule is like next week if you typically do these on a set time for your live broadcast.
Well, next week, and as I can be able to be open and free to do so. Next week, I have my family coming from New Jersey. They're coming over
Okay.
with us over the weekend, and so it's gonna be a little bit of tough to say, hey, let's do this. Which I'm always open to do something like that. Because I'm right now in Florida time, so what I can tell you is I always try to be open to these kind of conversations and be able to kind of sort of do so. The only thing is the time frame with Now that
Yeah, no, that I get it. I figured just based on that. But you know what? This is not going to be our last.
oh no.
This will definitely not be our last because I got some good number. I hit little. If you have some time, I'll tell you. Give you a little bit of background with my weight.
Go ahead.
In
Share with us.
my highest, I hit my heaviest weight was December of 2015. I was tipping the scales at 260 pounds.
Wow.
And then from January of 2016 all the way till November of 2016, I got down to around 207.
Yeah.
So it was 53-pound weight loss, and it was just I have to go look back because I've been playing around with fasting now since about 2013. But it's hard to do something when everyone's like, oh, it's dangerous, you're going to start. You know how it is. So you tend to listen to them. But now you see more, it's becoming more mainstream. Saying, look, you can do it. So I had a motorcycle accident. I had a motorcycle accident, and it set me back for, I think it was not until May of 2017. I didn't put a lot of weight on. I went from 207 to 217. So 10 pounds in 6 months is not a lot because I could go 10 pounds in a week with ease. It's so easy. I eat food. I love food. But then I would say pretty much between 2017, May of 2017, all the way up until December, I seemed to stay in that 217 belt. And then I did this is my disclaimer. I'm not a medical doctor. Go see I'm not giving advice. Go talk to your doctor. But I did a 6-day fast with water, wine, and coffee. And I think I was down maybe 18 pounds in 6 days. And I only broke that fast because I was playing around with my wife. I was teasing her. She was cooking, and I was in such a zone because I had no hunger pains after the second day. I was in the zone, and I was watching her cook, and I was videoing it. And then I was so obsessed with all watching her, teasing her. My glass of wine that had been my protocol for keeping, at night, I said, okay, end of the day, I'm going to have 5 ounces of wine. I had the wine so early that I said, I was watching her eat, and when she was eating, it was like food porn. My brain perceived her eating so slowly, and she was eating the pasta and everything. So I said, let me get another glass of wine to just, kill that urge. But that second glass, after 6 days of fasting, forget about it. I ate about 2,000 calories. But in looking back in retrospect, I wish I had a plan for when I broke the fast, because if I had a plan, I would have just dusted it off, and I would have come back and say, okay, I'm taking a break, but I got to make sure the next week I low carb it, for example. And then after that, go back and say, all right, let me go back and let me do a 2-day fast, 3-day fast. But it's funny how you could go back and look at that and say, all right, what did I do wrong? How could I make improvements?
Yes.
So
It's absolutely okay, my friend. Because let me tell you something. I remember the first time I tried to do I think it was like 48 hours. The first time I didn't think it was I was at a 48-hour fast. And I don't know what it got me into. I just left work. It was super late. And I remember just kind of sort of like, hey, I'm going to eat something. I don't know. I just want to break it. And it was like somewhere around 11:30 at night. Somewhere around 11:30 at night, almost like closer to midnight. And I decided to stop at this place in Orlando that they're open late, and I decided to get a peanut butter jelly colossal, it's called. And I told the girl, make sure there's no marshmallows in it, please. And let me tell you something. I I in my mind I was like, I'm gonna break it. I don't care what it is. I'm just gonna do it. And in my mind I'm thinking it's good. I'm in a calorie deficit anyways. But after I eat a sandwich, it tastes so good, and I know my insulin probably spiked it to the roof, and I couldn't sleep all night. And I said to myself, I will never do it again, but don't never say I'll never do it again because you might just do it again. I just learned,
So
I learned.
what was the cause of lack of sleep, do you think? Because you were mentally, you were bothered that you broke it? What do you think was the reason why you couldn't sleep?
I couldn't sleep because I had it. My stomach was just upset. My stomach got upset so quick. Of having all these, all this obviously carbohydrate and sugar, automatically, and not be, it could be obviously in my mind that I decided to just go ahead and actually jump in into and to just eat something because obviously 48 hours is it's pretty decent amount of hours that it's not really it's going to affect. But then obviously being brand new to it could be can be upsetting, obviously to your digestion. But it would
Right.
because in my mind I'm thinking in my mind I was like, hey, it's okay. I'm just gonna break it. But in reality, there's effects for everybody. Everybody is different, right? So
Sure.
and they just I take that as a way of being able to kind of sort of learn from the past and kind of explain to people, hey, I did it. You're gonna make mistakes, and it is okay.
Oh yeah. As long as you um John Maxwell has a book called Failing Forward. As long as you're failing forward, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna tell you something, and I just like I tell people, I said it is a process of learning because I'm constantly dealing with a lot of clients, people that I see every on a single basis, and said, you know, nothing you're gonna do for the first few months of doing exercise is going to be perfect because we are human. We are going to mess up, and that is completely okay because you're not expecting perfection, and don't beat yourself to it if you don't get where you're expecting to get to, because it's not like it's not a race, you know,
Right.
and we need to focus on all those little baby steps, all these learning things that we're getting out of it because I look back when the pandemic hit and I remember saying to myself, oh my God, I never stopped working. I'm so accustomed to work every single day and taking a break for so long for not doing nothing. But it was detrimental in a way, but it was a blessing at the same time, So we are so accustomed to habits, how strong they are. The
We are.
you know I'm so accustomed of working from 9 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, and so letting go of that kind of sort of like mindset, it was uh, it was powerful because we're thinking it, it, it's going to be so easy, but it's not.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So they just you gotta put in a lot of things in perspective. So imagine
Sure.
now, I was thinking about if I should do the live on my regular page, I should come in and I should do a podcast here and see what happens. And look, this is what is happening.
Right. Beautiful. It worked out well. I like it.
And
This is good.
it's I think it's a natural flow to be able to have a great conversation, and hopefully people
Yep.
can get grasp out of this because we are we are constantly learning something new,
Sure.
and the most important thing about this is that as I continue learning new ways to communicate with people, because and I'm gonna share this with you, I had a hard time communicating not only with my spouse but overall with myself. I had a hard time with myself because not because I wasn't necessarily open-minded, but at the same time, as I was growing up, I had so many issues to be able to express my feelings and be able to express as a human being, saying what I wanted it, how I wanted it, and how things I want for myself to make myself happy. Because one of the things is, as I meditate, I continue learning new things about meditation that I didn't think I was going to learn from it. Because one of the things, as I listen to the teacher, as I listen to the instructor, the first thing you might not listen or grasp something, but the second time you start grasping something.
And the third time you're gonna get something else, and the fourth. It's funny. I want to jump in for a second because yesterday I did a 7 mile walk, and you know what I did was I focused on keeping my heart rate at a certain level. So there's like exercise zones. Zone 1, you're barely doing anything. Zone 2, it's a light walk where you can have a conversation. Zone 3 is aerobic, where you're at like 70 to 85% maximum heart rate. And zone 4, you're going all out. You're being chased by a pit bull or a bear. Now, my prior time I did the 6 miles, it was mostly in zone 3. But what I did was I have YouTube Red because I like to download stuff and just play it, and my screen could be off so that way I could play it in the background. So I had to find, I think it was Lovers Rock reggae, because I already know the beats per minute is going to be slower. Because if I hear something fast, if I hear soca, something fast, I'm going to walk at that pace, which would put me in the next zone. But when I ended, I think I averaged in 2 hours and 15 minutes, 117 beats a minute. 117 was my heart rate. That was nice to average that in 2 hours and 15. And right now I'm looking, even though there's threats of of a thunderstorm, I'm thinking after this, because I'm properly hydrated, that I'm going to do this 4-mile loop twice. So yesterday was 7 miles.
Yeah.
And if I do this 4 miles, that's 8 miles, all while fasted, because it's all a part of that. Like you said, the meditation. And I'm going to go back and play that same exact that song loop, because why? It was good. It allowed me to walk at a slower pace, not winded, and it was pretty much fat burn most of the way.
Yeah. And there's a lot of power on walking. And this is what I tell people when it comes down to power walking or walking itself, is that you're stepping out of your comfort zone. When what we explain to people in regards of what happens in the first 3 months of when you are exercising, actually get into an exercise program, it's beginning to you condition the body. The same thing with fasting. We need to condition the body to get little by little. That's why we had all these protocols. We had the 16-8 protocol, and have the 18-6 protocol, and so on and so forth. So you can't go straight up. I mean, there's quite a few people that have kind of sort of cold turkey go for 24 hours or 48 hours, but not necessarily, kept into the program, but they have gone through that, and that's absolutely okay. What you need to understand is that when it comes down to maintain all these things, is a process of conditioning, not only the body but the mindset to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I like this. This is good, because I was hemming and hawing about, I walked, because I think Thursday I did 6 point some miles right after work was done. I worked from home that day. And then Friday, I didn't really walk that much because I was in the city, and I have a very long commute to the office. It's about 87 miles one way to the office.
Yeah.
So stuck on the highway. Oh, and the discipline. I went out Friday to play pool with some buddies I've been playing pool with now for the last 20 years. So I didn't get home until 12:30 Saturday morning, and I still was out for my walk around 9:30, fasted.
Yeah. Yeah.
No problem. And I went for that walk, and I said, no. I made sure also, too, another thing I learned is I have to prepare, like, even the clothing. I know this may sound like TMI, but if I'm walking that long, I have to wear biker shorts because my skin rubs together.
Yeah.
And what happens after your skin rubs together and you take a shower, you'll know. So I prepared. After this, I'm going to go upstairs and change. And because I'm looking at the time, and I'm like, all right, it's going to take 2 hours. It may take 2.5. And I'll come back, I'll cool off, shower, and there'll be time to get the family ready and go with my parents for dinner. It's going to be an awesome way to end a 22-hour fast with a 8-mile walk. Woo!
Yes. And this is one of the things about the beauty about fasting is that you know you're gonna get together with family. You want to enjoy the get together, the feast of being with family, and that's one of the things that I look forward to. My mother's coming from New Jersey. I'm looking forward to for her to get here, and then plus it's her birthday weekend, so I'm looking forward to kind of sort of like, all right, I'm gonna wait for her until like she gets here. There's gonna be a lots of food, and I'm gonna feast. I'm gonna enjoy.
Enjoy. You should feast, balance, feast, and fast, man. That's what life. That's how we. That's how we came about.
Yep.
You know, we didn't have food 3 times. 3 meals a day, 8 meals a day. We only ate when we caught our food. Back then we didn't have refrigerators, so we couldn't store the food.
Yep.
So we ate the food, we feasted, and then until we got the next, until we caught our next meal. That's the next time we ate. So yeah. That's why I like it, getting me back to how we were, way back.
Yeah, this is the thing about, the many books that talk about how we used to live much more better 50, 60, 70 years ago because we have, technology is good. Don't get me wrong, technology is the best thing you can have. We have refrigerators to preserve food, but what does that do any good if we are constantly consuming all these food? One of the things that I tell people is like, you're going to save so much money by you maintaining your food, and you'll be able to maintain it because one of the things that we noticed that we went from spending almost $3,000 a month on food down to literally less than $1,000 every single month, or probably less than that, because we're not constantly splurging out food.
Oh, sure.
Right?
I think mine is it flipped because my wife didn't want to cook so much, so I think ours went the other way because we're both essential workers, wife and I.
Yeah.
So my wife's a nurse and I'm into the financial services, so we never skipped a beat. I had to go out there. We've been fully vaxxed since March.
Yeah.
As soon as it came out, we were both able to get it in February, our first dose, and I got a second dose in March.
Yeah.
So we've been fully vaxxed. But I've been going, and what my job has done is they pretty much paid for food because they didn't want us going out and exposing ourselves. So I had breakfast, and then that's not even to make an excuse why my weight went up. My weight just went up because I didn't stick to 2 meals a day. I should have just either had enjoy the lunch and only have lunch as being my biggest meal and be all set. But it's free, so I'm getting breakfast, I'm getting lunch, I'm getting free parking. And I've had that, but now they're saying, oh, everybody's got to get back. No more food for you. Fed for your own.
Well, let me tell you something. Coming back to work and doing what I do now has given me same DC is very important. And one of the things that I kind of sort of definitely it makes a huge difference for me is because I from Monday through Friday I live on my lifestyle. Basically, I only have about 1 hour to eat, and I get to enjoy whatever is available in the house. And I can tell you this much. One of the things that as we continue sharing to people our experiences is that, one of the things is looking at the things, those little baby steps that you're taking every single day, you will notice your numbers completely change by just keeping track of your fasting regimen. And if you can be able to check your for example, what I tell people is if you can go to any one of the places in, for example, Publix here in Florida, right? You go and they have these high blood pressure machines or check your blood pressure, and you will notice a huge difference just by looking in the beginning of your day. Your blood pressure is gonna
see. My blood pressure will come down. Hey, I hear my wife, so I don't want to cut this short, but guess what? I'm so excited. I hear her. I'm going to go and say, hey, how's your day? Because she was working. But I said, babes, I'll be back in about 2.5 hours. I'm going to do my walk, and then I'm going to shower, and then I'm going to head over to mom. But you said OMAD. You do OMAD Monday through Friday, and Saturday, Sunday, how many meals do you have?
On Saturday and Sundays, look, Saturday Sunday's a little bit weird because on Saturdays for me, because of my son is working, my wife is doing specific things with the kid. I try to stay within a 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour window. Kind of sort of change it up the pace depending on what is it that we do. For example, this weekend today, I know she's gonna come back from church, and then I'd be able to kind of sort of like, hey, what do you want to do? So are we having breakfast? Do you want to have dinner? It's kind of sort of like spread out a little bit longer than instead of having 1 hour. So I kind of
But Monday through Friday, you just 1 hour.
yeah, I have it 1 hour because I take a break for almost like 3 hours. I tend to work out here at home, and then I know that since I'm working on a faster state, then I'm breaking my fast whether it's with chicken, fish, or whatever is available. I'm gonna utilize that what is available, and then have some fruits and vegetables and stuff like that within combination within that hour time frame. Because one of the things that I tell people is when you listen to your body, your satiety hormone is gonna kick in because you're starting feeling fulfillment. That fulfillment.
So I wanna, I asked you that. And sorry to interrupt, but I asked because I like to hear what different people do, but ultimately I have to figure out for myself. And one of the things this past week, because I logged everything, I have a food scale in the office, I have a food scale at home. You have to understand where things are. What you just said, you eat for food. I know as I progress in this fasting journey, in this fasting walk, that I will try to stick to mostly real foods in its real state, because even rice, I'm not even scared of rice. I've had rice this week and I still came down. But if I keep most of my food as real, like rice has one ingredient, rice. Chicken has one ingredient, chicken. Now, if you have some flour, that's a different animal.
Oh yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with it, but if I eat mainly whole foods in its real state as possible, I will definitely do well. And I start to say about this week what I learned. I did OMAD Monday night, one meal. And then Tuesday, I did OMAD again at night. And I had maybe, I have to go look back at my logs, maybe about 2,000 calories. For whatever reason, that because of my window between when I ate, when I got home and went to bed, I had a lot of discomfort because all that food was there. I still dropped weight because why? I went 24 hours, it was at 2,000 calories, or about that. So then I tried to say, okay, the next morning, I said, my wife had brought food for me Tuesday, but I said, no, babes, I already had my food. I already bought my food. I bought it at lunch to eat it at dinner. So it happened to be oxtails, rice and beans, plantains, cabbage. So I had that 6:45 Wednesday, and I said, okay, I'm gonna let it power me through, and then I'll be fine. But guess what? It powered me through the day, but when I got home, the habit of eating dinner as my favorite meal, I had dinner. Believe it or not, I still came down Thursday, but I would rather save up and eat at night because that way it's more disciplined, and I know I'm going to get more benefits from having even 2 meals. I know in the grand scheme of things is great, but it's okay. As long as I have coffee and water, I'm good. I could go.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure, for me, I guess what I'm figuring it for me for the favorite is to enjoy my dinner no matter what. Go all day long, have the coffee and water. Again, I have only had about 6 ounces of coffee, and I'm going to go in, change up, and I'm looking at my watch, go for this walk so that way I'm not late because I know it's going to take about 2 hours. I got to cool off from when I come from that walk, 2.5 hours, but I'm looking forward to it. So.
But yeah, man, it's all about that kind of sort of finding your way to for yourself. Because I mean, we talk about work life balance, right? It's
Sure.
within that medium because I tell people, I say, look, once you find your work, you're good to go. You're not so stressed out anymore. So and that's the most important thing. And I think that I'm glad that you come in and actually share your own personal perspective, personal view, and how you come about things because we all are different. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And thank you so
Well, thanks so much for accepting my request to join. I appreciate it, and I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna make mistakes, but I'm gonna get right back up and start right. It's not. I highly doubt I'll ever have a 5,000 calorie mistake in one meal because when I go 24 hours, I barely could get 2,000. It takes a lot of work, and usually I like a big ribeye. I'll have a big steak. Ribeye is my favorite steak. I've had filet Nothing touches my ribeye, man. I can send you tons of DMs with my ribeye. I love ribeye. I know you love ribeye too.
Oh man, I matter of fact, one of the things is that it's just one of those things that you just enjoy. You gotta enjoy it, and one of the things I said to myself is, if I can be able to switch it to, you know, to much more better, I will definitely. And one of the things is that, again, I'm not expecting to be perfect. Once again, I just wanted to make sure that I have what I can be able to provide for my body, and the better it is, I'm looking forward to that. But at the end, what I can to do so right now is it still works. I still, at the end, what is necessary is just to be consistent. That's all it is.
Sure, absolutely. Thanks again. We're going to be communicating, and then you know what? I'm going to have to initiate a live video too, and just talk about how things are going, my return to fasting. I've got a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks under my belt, and here's my numbers. Loving the journey and accepting the things that happen and making the necessary changes when need be.
Definitely, definitely, brother. I'm looking forward to actually listen to those numbers and check it out. And hopefully, not this, possibly the following weekend after.
Yes, the following weekend I'm going to be away too, because we're going to take a trip to Rhode Island. But you know what? It doesn't necessarily have to be a weekend. We'll just DM each other, say, what's your schedule like? You have time for that? And even if I'm in the office and I need to go out, you say, hey, I'm going to be doing it. If you tell me in advance when you can do something, then I'll figure out a way, because this is very helpful and it's fun.
We're here to help each other out. I learn new things. So a lot of people that actually come in and join the podcast and be able to. And for anybody who is watching this, and please follow this young man. Definitely looking forward to actually share this on YouTube and so as in the podcast. So
awesome.
Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.